Hello guys, welcome to my channel Coding with Kobe. I am Kobe and this is the Programming with C series. In this series, we are going to learn the basic stuff about C programming language. In this video, I'm going to cover what C is, what it is used for, and the basic structure of C. So, let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to our programming lessons, and this is Kobe. As I said earlier on, we've been learning C as a programming language for the past week, and I realized we've missed a few days of lessons, and I'm trying to make up to those lessons with this video. And in this video, we're just having a little revision of what we've learned so far, and then we move on. So let's get started. But before I go on, I should have done this video with my PC, but it seemed to have a little bit of problems, so I decided to use my mobile phone, which can see the resolution is fine, and I'm sure it's going to be fine on your end too. So without further ado, let's move on. So what's C? When we talk about C, what do you think C is? C is a low-level programming language, which means it's a language that could be easily translated to a computer language. That's the binary for the computer to understand. Okay, so computers work with zeros and ones as ones called the binary, and what we type on the computer doesn't look like zeros and ones. They are like alphabets, numbers, images, and stuff. And the computer translates whatever we do here to something it understands and works with it. So that's what we talk about binary here. And C here is more like English. It's a bit hard to read. That's why it's called a low-level programming language. But that's not bad. See, it's one of the easiest programming language you can learn, and you'll be fascinated with the things you can do with C. Okay, so C was initially used for system development work, particularly the programs that make up the operating system. C was adopted as a system development language because it produces codes that run nearly as fast codes written in assembly language. Okay, so before I move on, assembly language is also a programming language here, and it's quite lower. It's in the level of language or low level, which is quite fast, and it's quite emphasizes on precision. It's specific on what it does, not like other programming languages. Though C is also a bit specific, but assembly puts more emphasis on a lot of stuff. Okay, so C is used in place of assembly code in certain cases because it's also a low-level language, and it can also be translated to binary as fast, almost as fast as assembly language. Okay, these are some of the examples of stuff you can find C code, and I'll tell you C is doing a very major role in all these operating systems. Any operating system I know of, I can talk of Linux, iOS, macOS, Windows, popular Windows has C in it, and C is playing a very major role in operating systems. Language compilers. See, I talked about translating the C code into something the computer can understand. Yes, and in this case, this is not different. C is also used to create stuff that is to translate another language into computer language for it to understand. So it's quite funny, but yes, that's how computers work. Assemblies, and they are like compilers for assembly code, and interestingly, C can be used to write programs that can compile assembly codes to binary. Text editors like Notepad, Notepad++, Visual Studio Code, that's what we'll be using in this lesson. And yes, C also does that because it's also good in memory management and stuff. Print spoolers. When we talk about spooler, it's like a program that helps to communicate with peripheral devices like printers and scanners, as in transferring documents and working with them. It's quite fascinating if you go deep into it. Drivers. I'm sure you're familiar with drivers, but I'll still record on it. Drivers are programs that enable the operating system, that's Windows, Linux, macOS, iOS, Android, to communicate with the hardware components. That's your camera, your microphone, your speakers, your screen, mouse, keyboard, and stuff. That's what serves as the intermediary. Okay, modern programs, whatever program you are using, whatever software you are using, has a bit of component of C in it. Databases, language interpreters, and utilities all have C. Okay, so let's talk about the structure of C. I sometimes call it the grammar of C because C is a language. Okay, so C program basically consists of the following parts. That's a preprocessor command, a function, variables, statements and expressions, and comments. Okay, so we'll dive into them very soon. So this is a typical C code. I'll read it, but I'll be a bit fast on that because you have a visual of it, so you can pause and watch and review it and how it's supposed to be. Okay, so hash include stdio.h, that stands for standard input output .h. H makes it a header file. Okay, int main parentheses, that's the brackets, and the curly bracket, forward asterisk. This is a multi-line comment. Asterisk and forward slash. Print is supposed to be a printf. I think I made a mistake, but I'll correct that when we start coding. Hello world, close parenthesis and colon, but in this case we'll call it a terminator. Okay, that's the official name it's called. I don't know why, but well, we'll get to know why soon. This is a single line comment, return 0, terminator, and curly bracket closed. So this is a typical C code, and you come across this many times. You really you will type this several times in your code, especially in the print and the comment. Return is very common. Int main is very important, so you know that. So let's look at the parts of this code. Okay, so the first line, hash include stdio.h, is a preprocessor command which tells a C compiler to include a standard input and output header file before going to the actual compilation. Okay, to feel refreshed, well, that's a mistake. I think I was losing off, that's why I typed that. I typed some stuff when I typed. Okay, so the first line, that is the preprocessor command, if you could remember. That's it. So this is what it does. Before, when you click run or whatever way you run the code, before it starts compiling, it goes through and checks for the header files. So it tells it to include a pre-compiled. They are already compiled. It's not part of the C, or it's not part of the compilation. Okay, they are files that the compiler looks to for reference for stuff, so that you could work on it. And I think that's where the print comes from. That's the standard input and output. So the print, the scan, that's in when you type in inputs, it works that way. Okay. So before it goes on, it comes the loop. So it looks and say, okay, fine, I have to include the standard input header file and whatever it contains, and then move to the main content of your program. And from then it compares what's there to the header file. Hey, print. Okay, let me check the header file. Does it contain anything that is print? Yes. And what does it tell me to do? To display hello world in the console. Then it comes back and shows you this. Okay, it's quite simple and straightforward. Okay, the next line, int main. That's the main function. Every C function is a main function. That's the int main. Int there is a data type for the variable, and main is the name of the function. Actually, in programming language, as in C, it treats functions more or less like variables. We'll go deep into that, but it's just a little overview, so no stressing. Okay. And every function starts with a curly bracket and ends with a curly bracket. Alright. So the next line, that is this multi-line comment. The comments are usually ignored by the compiler. Okay, they are like some sticky notes you put on your code where you need a little bit of room, because sometimes you could write a code and just, I wouldn't say days, you could just take some few hours off, come back and your code looks strange to you. You might not really get what made you write that or what made you choose that. Okay, so sometimes you need to comment your code. Well, I think it's very necessary because you do get lost in your code sometimes. Alright? And printf hello world. That's a command. After, it's a function inbuilt in C which enables you to show stuff on the screen. Okay, so whatever you put in between the parentheses and the quotes, it's supposed to show in your console on the screen, or whatever way you put it. Alright, it's as simple as that. And this is a single line comment. It's also a comment, but there are types of comment, and I will not hit on that now. I just want you to understand that these are parts of a code. Okay, alright. And return 0. Well, it's not every function, but most functions return values. Okay, some functions to avoid, which means they don't return value, but most functions return values. And it could be a number, it could be a boolean, it could be a text or character or something. You got the one modify your code and you know what you want to return when something happens. Okay, so usually it's put at the end of the function so that it returns whatever you want to do, and then whatever comes after can use the data that's returned or use it as reference for anything. Okay, so I think that's it for now. That's where we ended up last time, and I think I added a slide or a PDF file on how to install C and then set up your environment to start work. Okay, so I'll hope to see you then. I'll repost the link if you lost, or I'll repost the link if you haven't gotten it yet. So that's it for now. And if you like this video, kindly like and click the subscribe button. Please don't forget to click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Kindly share with friends who might be interested in learning too. See you all in the next video.